Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Sam Dosa, burnout specialist, business coach, and a mentor, with my co host Ritu Sharma, women's empowerment coach, author, facilitator. We are here with Kindle Your True Power. We were just wanted to share some knowledge about our last workshop, which was a very epic workshop. We enjoyed thoroughly, and those participants who participated with us has an excellent transformation. And we are planning two more workshops in November. So watch the space for more information. So today's topic is emotional intelligence in relationship. So it's quite a deep area, and if you are have any information or have you heard about emotional intelligence or emotions, these are the key factor in any relationship whatsoever you have with yourself, with your spouse, with your mom and dad, with your siblings, with your children. So it's quite a deep area, and within a corporate world as well, which we will be enhancing further in our small discussion. So Ritu, what is your take on is emotional intelligence relationship?
Hello, everybody. A very good morning, a lovely, lovely morning to wake up to today. Not as hot as it has been for last couple of weeks, but lovely, very nice and pleasant, breezy, lovely. Right, talking about emotional intelligence, us being human beings, we are a set of emotions. We do respond quite often based on how we are feeling. Sometimes that goes in our favor, unfortunately, the others, it doesn't. The way we are programmed as human beings, I was listening to this podcast recently, and it discussed how our logical brain the fear kicks in whenever we end up in a situation that we're not very familiar with or not very comfortable with. And the fear is there in our system to protect us from getting into trouble, making ourselves susceptible to some danger, etc., etc. And therefore, the logical brain works to protect us. However, the emotional part of the brain works not, I wouldn't say in an opposite way, but it has to work hand in hand with the logical brain to be able to make the right decisions for us. Talking about relationships, logical brain normally would not be much of help when we're talking about relationships, if not always. Um, it's the emotional aspect that needs to be polished and needs to be prepared to have healthier, positive, productive relationships. And when we say relationships, we mean to start off with, really, as I always say, it's really important to have a relationship with yourself first to be able to understand who you are, what would you want out of life, and how would you approach it. Because in all honesty, you might have a set of goals, let's say, which is very practical again, but you also might have some dreams. And there has to be a balance that needs to be created between the two to achieve happiness,
It is
right?
indeed. I think relationship with emotional intelligence is a well. When we talk about emotional intelligence, the emotion of an individual
Mm-hmm.
plays a significant role how one will understand himself herself before
Yes.
he can be able to understand others. Because if you are aware, self-aware of your own emotions, then you will be able to understand somebody else's emotions.
Yeah. And I was reading Daniel Coleman's book
Yeah,
emotional intelligence, and it says
yeah,
really clearly that the reason why people fall out and
yeah,
the reason why people react so instinctively in a negative manner is
Yep.
all an outcome of not being able to understand how one feels themselves. So,
Yes.
in the first instance, if we understand how we're feeling, then obviously we are better placed to be able to handle the other emotional impacts, effects around us. Um,
Yes.
and it also goes on to say that the reason there is such big issue with, teenage problems like, for instance, these days, how big is the knife crime? And
Yeah.
the reason that we can boil it down to is that the teenagers, the youngsters of the day, do not understand their own emotion. They don't
Yeah.
understand themselves. Why do they feel what they feel? How do they feel how they feel? And
But that boils down to connecting with others who are around them, because if they don't
yes,
understand their own emotions, they are picking
yes,
up somebody else's emotions. As a
definitely.
simple example, you are a mother. I'm a
Hmm.
father of three
Hmm.
girls. You are a mother of two girls, and you remember your time when your children were very young,
Yeah.
and the child used to cry. And if I reflect back, or if you reflect back that time, if you remember that actually it's not the child who was having some problem, it was us could not control our emotions, and
Mm.
that's why he was playing with those emotions, and he was trying to create an havoc in the house by crying. And you're saying, oh, you just have been fed, you just have been changed, and why are you still crying? Because that time we could not understand, because that's
Yeah.
the this is the beauty of it. The child, a small child, can actually understand the emotion of their parents, rather than they understand their child's emotions themselves, or they understand their own emotions, because they pick up. I remember I'm a graceful and I'm very humble to be a father of twins, and I used to go into shopping center and trying to buy goods, and I have twins with me and my older daughter. I go through aisle to aisle without any problem, and I can sometimes I see there are parents standing with one child. They can't handle the child because they are clouded with their own emotions so highly. They could not understand what the child needs because he is playing with their emotions. So it all boils down to the basic of that, how you are self aware of yourself to
Yeah.
actually understand others
Yeah.
in terms of looking at it in a wider spectrum, because at the moment we are just looking at one to one. If you are looking at one to one yourself, if you understand when you are sad, what are the emotions coming up? Are you feeling low? Are you feeling uncertain about something? Are you honest to your feelings? Those are also the key drivers to your emotions up and down. Certain area in terms of, if you are in a situation where you're going to be receiving an announcement about your result or something, like, you are very emotional about it, whether what's going to happen, whether I'm going to pass or fail. The small thing like passing a driving test create a big havoc in our life. So
Yeah.
it plays a very significant role, emotions.
Yes. Mm.
And as you said about, it all boils down to happiness,
Yeah.
where they create from your emotions. If you are self-aware, if you are taking time to understand your own emotions, you will be able to understand somebody, other people who are around
Exactly.
you. Yeah.
Exactly. And how often has it been that something little has triggered us off,
Mm-hmm.
and that situation has come to an end? Let's say, oh, I bumped into a nasty driver on the way who
Yeah.
had no patience, or was not being very fair, or was not giving way, or any of that.
Yeah.
And then let's say I carried that emotion on me because I've been tipped off by somebody who was not very nice to me in the morning. And
Yeah.
then chances are, if a person has come across this situation, they will keep snapping and being angry at anyone and everyone they bump into. And the remedy to that is to be able to understand and acknowledge your own emotion first, and then just say, okay, I'm feeling like this. But okay, there was nothing I could do about it. I have been upset for a bit, but let it go. There's no point carrying it further on me, because I'll be nasty to other people. Then I'll be distributing nastiness now. So
Yeah.
to start off with, relationships to start off, it's having a relationship with yourself, understanding your own emotion, respecting your own emotion, acknowledging it, and accepting it. And from there on, building relationship with people around you, be it your siblings, be it your spouse, be it your friends, your parents, even the wider community, people you work with. And once we understand how we feel and how we would like to feel, we start reflecting that in our behavior. Because
Yeah.
how we would like others to be with us, the best thing to do is be that yourself.
Yeah.
And once we
Absolutely.
understand that, niceness breeds niceness and nastiness breeds nastiness. So if I
Yes.
expect you to be nice to me, Sam, I can't come in and start being bossy for no reason. You're going to retaliate back and you're going to look at me and think, oh, what's wrong with this woman today? What
Mm-hmm.
have I done to deserve this? She's
Yeah.
in a bad mood. She
Absolutely.
can't carry on with in a bad mood. I'm not going to be a part of it. And that's
Yes.
how it goes.
Absolutely.
However, if I
Absolutely.
walk into a room and I'm pleasant to everybody around me, chances are they'll be pleasant to me back.
Indeed. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's spot on, actually. Emotions is in our control. If you let it go, it will affect not only you and other people as well. When a person is angry, I get angry because there are circumstances where I have to control
Everyone does.
things. We are all
Everyone does.
human,
Yeah.
you know. It's not about. There is one actually. I would like to share. This is quite an interesting challenge by Aristotle. I think I should share that actually
Yeah, go on
with
then.
the.
Yeah, why not?
I think it's quite interesting. If you let me just share it with you. Hold a sec. Let me
Mm-hmm.
capture that from my. I think we have some people watching us. Mira Sharma is watching us. Thank you, Mira, for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Hello.
Please share your share this video to people as you like and give us love. We are here and we are sharing our wisdom to all of you. So there is an Aristotle challenge.
Mm-hmm.
So anyone can become angry. That is easy.
Uh-huh.
But to be angry with the right person, to the right
Mm-hmm.
degree, at
Mm-hmm.
the right time, for the right purpose,
Wow.
and in a right way, that is not easy. So
Wow.
how far length we go into that sort of understanding? When we get angry, we just get angry, we snap out, whether on our spouse, whether on our children, whether on our staff, not realizing the consequences, what is going to happen after
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah.
that's quite important to understand how a person can let the emotion go and affects not only himself or herself, but the all others
Yeah.
who are around them. And as a leader, if you are a leader in your firm or a manager in your firm, understanding your team emotions are very important because that's how you're going to help not only your team, yourself as well, because your team is your asset. And if your
Exactly.
team is dispersed, you won't be able to deliver the projects what you want to deliver on time. You are going to be in a completely wrecked situation where you're going to lose your mental stability, where your team will feel that instability and do the same thing to create a havoc in the team and in the company. So
Yeah.
emotional intelligence, yep.
And in personal life, of course, I mean, it's literally impossible to cover everything, all aspects of how emotional intelligence impacts relationships. But in a very generic way, let's say if in marriages, for instance, the divorce rate these days is so high.
Hmm.
I'm divorced. Sam's divorced. I'm not making a joke of that, definitely.
Yeah.
But
Hmm.
um, but divorce rate is so high, and what is the underlying issue there? Most men don't know how to listen. Most women don't know how to communicate their message across in a positive manner.
Yep.
We women have an image of, but we carry a burden. We carry a tag of being nagging, and of talking too much, and thereon. But then there is a lot of work that needs doing here because most men don't know how to listen. They want to fix the problem for
Yeah,
the woman.
I think I've learned in my last marriages that I was not a good listener. and that impacted the marriage, not only from the perspective as a marriage, but there is another area of my life as well which impacted a lot. And the key, I would say, the nugget I have taken out from that marriage was that the listening skill which I captured, and I become a counselor. I'm a good coach, a mentor, and a good father for my three beautiful girls. And listening skills has given me that tenacity to be standing on firm on my 2 feet. And when I started to learn that and actually develop my skills, it given me a significant understanding of not only myself and to others. Yeah, men are the fixers, and you can't blame them. If you
No.
look at the entire history, men are always been given this responsibility to fix things.
That's what they're
Yeah,
expected to do, Sam. That's what it
yeah,
is. That's what they're
absolutely,
brought up
absolutely.
like that. They're brought up like that. That's why
Yeah,
they feel they're responsible for fixing things. But
yeah,
then again,
yes,
knowing better, we need to move on. We need to learn. We need to evolve. We need to change what needs changing to make it
yeah,
nicer for ourselves and others around us. Very, very
yes,
important. Um,
absolutely.
and then moving on from spouses to children, a lot of parents would not know how to communicate with their children. Not that they don't mean well for them, they just don't
Mm-hmm.
have the skill. They just have not learned yet how to approach the child in a child friendly manner where the child will
Yes,
feel safe and listened to and cared for. And therefore they listen and they comply. And in the same way, um, parents sometimes don't know how to listen to the child. The child might be
yes.
saying something aggravated and completely angry or upset with something, but there might be a message in there that the child's trying to convey. The parent needs to be able to read in between those
But
lines
again,
between.
again, it comes to having control of your emotions, because if you are not having control of your own emotion, how are you going to listen to your child? Because
Yeah.
you are colluded your emotions with the discussion which you are having with your child, and your child always going to get upset because you are just thinking about, I'm always right because I'm the one who feeds
Yes.
you, I'm the
A
one
lot
who
of
clothes you.
parents, unfortunately, make that mistake. Of course, they have more life experience. Of course, they're more mature. Of course, they know good from bad as compared to a child's understanding of life. Of course, they know better. But
Yeah,
we can't expect the children to be on the same page.
no, absolutely not,
So
absolutely
again,
not.
it's acknowledging the emotions of the children around us and being able to
Yeah.
understand it.
Yeah, absolutely. And that actually the key area, key factor. Emotional intelligence is a very enhanced in a very big area.
Very
What we
vital.
are doing, we are just touching the tip of the iceberg, I will say. But well, this is just the beginning. We are going to be sharing a lot of wisdom about emotional intelligence. There are a lot of other things which we will be sharing as well. So tune in and listen to
And if
our
there is a
conversation.
particular, sorry, Sam, and I would just want to
Yes.
say that if there is a particular area that anybody would like us to discuss or have, a discussion upon or want to contribute into, we'd be more than happy to pick that topic up. So could you please leave a comment here saying
Yes.
what would you like to discuss, and we can look into that definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you, Mira Sharma. She's just a very interesting topic of discussion today. Really love to listen to you both. Thank you, Mira, for joining us. Really appreciate it. And we have some more comments coming in, and people are watching. So thank you very much, everybody who has actually tuned into our Facebook Live this morning about emotional intelligence in relationship. And this is Sam Dosa, business coach, mentor, and burnout specialist, with my co-host Ritu Sharma, empowerment women's empowerment coach, author, and facilitator. Uh, we are working under the umbrella of Kindle Your True Power. Last week, we delivered a workshop on emotional intelligence titled Unleash Your True Power. So we are engaging in further bringing these workshops in November. But I think Ritu is actually bringing another workshop very soon. So can you tell us about your new upcoming workshop, Ritu?
Yeah, my workshop on is about confidence building and polishing speaking skills for young ladies aged 13 to 18.
Mm-hmm.
And it's happening in Walsall. And it's just a chance for young girls to come and join me. And I delivered this workshop last year as well, and it was a big success. And the
Mm-hmm.
attendees who did turn up at the workshop, Sam, they have had
Mm-hmm.
some really good stuff happening after that, and one of the ladies has completely outshone herself, and
Oh,
she's
great.
herself amazed, and I'm so proud of what she has achieved. And she's become very vocal about her own feelings, which was earlier missing, and obviously was impacting her
Mm-hmm.
at emotional and academic front.
Fantastic.
But
Fantastic.
this workshop kind of helps the little ones break through, and they can achieve that confidence within themselves, and also they gather this confidence to talk, to speak up, to be able to express their themselves, their emotions in a positive, constructive manner. So that's what the workshop's about on 21st of July between 3 and 6 p.m. So if there is a teenager you would like to recommend, or if there is somebody who's listening who is a teenager, feel free to comment here or get in touch with me. I'll be more than happy to help.
I think we will share the post which you actually shared on your page to
Definitely.
this broadcast, so people can connect with you. So, if thank you very much for joining us, and we are going to say goodbye now, and wish you all the best for today and the rest of your day today, and every moment you enjoy. Just observe your emotions. The self-awareness is important. Observe and see how those emotions are playing it. So once you have the control of on those emotions, sometimes you can't control those emotions. They are very deep rooted emotions. So let it be, because it is a, what I call it, it takes time. It takes time. It's not going to be a very quick fix. Every emotion connects with the deeper emotions in our body, and it allows us to understand where that particular emotion actually is brewing from. And we have to pinpoint, and we have to understand. The more you go in nature, the more you sit down for mindfulness exercises, it will create some self-awareness for you. Before I end our live broadcast, Ritu, would you like to say something before we end it?
I would just like to say, as I just like to re-say what just Sam has said, that while you're on your way today and from today onwards, try and take a note of how you feel and what triggers how you feel, especially the not very nice emotions. Because what makes us happy, it's fine, it can come openly and it can stay with us. What we need to monitor is the emotion that is affecting us negatively, because that will reduce our productivity as well. So we need to just keep a tab on that sort of emotion, and if we can kind of pinpoint the object or the person or a certain type of behavior or a word, etc., etc., that triggers that negative emotion, it will be good to make a note of that and then deal with it from there on.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
absolutely. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us today. And watch the space. We're going to be bringing some more live regards to a couple of other topics we have in our toolbox. So thank you very much once again. And it's Sam Dosa and Ritu Sharma from Kindle Your True Power. Stay safe and blessed. Goodbye for now. Thank you.
Bye bye.